What's up, YouTube? This is Chris Albert here, coming from Long Beach, California. I had a little bit of a family emergency this week. My brother-in-law, who was only 41 years old, he was reading a story to my little baby nephew, and uh, you know, him and my sister, his wife, were just about to sit down for a movie, and he started going into convulsions and appears to have suffered from what might have been a stroke. We didn't know if it was something else at the time, but I posted that on Facebook, and I just want to say thank you to everybody who gave your prayers and your well wishes to my family. I appreciate it very much, and I think that he's almost out of the woods. He's speaking, he's responding. There might be some loss of brain function, but hopefully everything turns out for the best and that he's able to be rehabilitated to become normal once again. I've got an interesting question this week, and I just wanted to give a response to it. It's from a guy named Ryan. Ryan said, "Have you ever felt you need to take time out of the gym, that little nagging issues or an injury has required time to fully heal? For me in particular, a tendon around my rear delt or shoulder joint seems to have been strained, and in 7 weeks it's still not recovering. And a few other minor muscular and joint aggravations are holding me back. I don't really want to stop what I am doing because I love and work so hard to train my body intensely for that 90 minutes or so in the gym. I have come so far in recent years, and I'm afraid of losing my physique performance for good if I quit." Well, Ryan, I'm really glad that you asked me this question. And my basic position on this is this. For a lot of us, we love bodybuilding. I love bodybuilding. I love powerlifting. I love lifting heavy. The fact of the matter is, however, a lot of the practices that we have as bodybuilders are not good for us. A lot of the practices, I shouldn't say that it's a function of bodybuilding, a lot of the practices that we have as individuals in practicing the sport we know as bodybuilding are not good for us. And what we do is we try to satisfy our egos, try to satisfy our own vision for ourselves, and we try to get to a certain point, yet we don't realize is that oftentimes we're exacerbating certain muscular imbalances that we have, and by exacerbating those imbalances, we create more opportunities for injury and create more injuries. And so what I want to do right now is just give you a few tips as bodybuilders for avoiding these types of muscle imbalances. The first tip that I can give you is that what I see with a lot of people is that they avoid things like stretching and flexibility. They avoid trying to become more mobile. And it's either because they don't want to take the time to do it or they're not good at it. And that's often what I think. I think a tragedy. I'm guilty of this myself. I don't stretch nearly enough. And I've paid the price. I've torn several muscles. I've had nagging injuries that keep me from being a good bench presser. But what you need to do when these things come about is to make every effort possible to improve those imbalances. You need to foam roll. You need to stretch. You need to increase the mobility of your joints. The other thing we do is if we're weak at a certain exercise, a lot of times we tend to avoid that exercise. And one great example is front squats. I know so many people who can squat a shitload of weight on back squat, but they avoid front squats like the plague. Well, the thing is, a lot of times, we're avoiding it because we don't have that kind of thoracic flexibility to get your elbows up to drive up. And that's actually a really important piece of strength there. You are not, your core is not fully strong. You're exacerbating a hole in your strength because you don't want to work that area of your core. You don't want to work your lats to help you get your elbows up. You don't want to work your thorax in order to support that weight. So you're going to keep back squatting, but that strength is not going to develop in you. So eventually you're going to develop some sort of injury in your back or in some other place because you still have that weakness. Your strength for the back squat is only superficial, and so you're not developing all of your areas of strength. I think that impulse for us to try to only do things that we're good at is natural. It's a human thing. For a lot of us who do this, for me, for example, lifting weights is one of the only things I've ever been really good at, and to have something that's really hard is challenging for us mentally. But if you truly want to be strong, if you truly want strength, and you truly want to be the strongest person that you can be, these are exercises that you need to perform. Front squats, zercher squats, overhead presses, snatch grip deadlifts, things like that, things that might be a little bit more difficult. Those are things that you should be doing to try to hammer out your imbalances. Additionally, aside from mobility and aside from core stability and things like that, things that we might not be good at as bodybuilders, we also need to try and keep up our aerobic conditioning. I'm not going to say go out and run miles or anything like that, because I don't believe that that's a great exercise for aerobic conditioning. What I do think is that a lot of us need to concentrate more on our health, our heart health, and high intensity interval training, high intensity training, things like that, strongman stuff. That's stuff we need to try to include in our routines, because it allows us to do more. It'll increase our work capacity and allow you to increase the amount of exercises that you can do in getting the physique that you want. So in a nutshell, Ryan, what I want to tell you is that going back and working on these things, you don't need to quit, you don't need to get out of the gym, but you do need to hammer out those muscle imbalances that are creating your shoulder injury. And now I'm not sure of what exactly your shoulder injury is, and I don't have the specifics on it, but what you need to do is do the research necessary to get your shoulder into proper health so that you can have greater longevity in powerlifting and bodybuilding and lifting weights and doing the things that you love. If you don't put the time in to make those corrections, then you're going to cut your time short in this great sport, and you're not going to be able to do the exercises that you want to do. I hope that makes sense to everybody, and if you have any questions, hit me up, gettingshredded@gmail.com. Again, thank you everyone for your well wishes. It makes me feel really good that so many people chimed in. So have a good night, and I will talk to y'all later.